A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajeem. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, and welcome to today's class. I hope you're all well, inshallah. Before we start, I'd like to go over the etiquette for during the class. Make sure first thing is to make sure that your IDs are correct. So make sure that you're logged in with the correct ID that you were issued at the beginning of this course. If you are logged in with the incorrect ID, you may find yourself in the waiting room. So the first thing you should do is check your ID and then log in again with the correct ID. Also, make sure your video icon has a red line across it throughout the duration of this class to indicate that your videos are off. Also, please don't put your hands up unless I tell you to. Listen to the teacher and copy what the teacher reads out if she reads out a letter or a word. And also listen to how other students are reading and the feedback that they're getting. At the end of the class, make sure you note down your homework. Stay till the end dua. Please don't leave before that. And if you have any questions or queries, don't hesitate to email us on this email address at the bottom over here, and we'll try and get back to you as soon as we can. Okay, so let's start today's class with the prayers. So can I please have a student on the mic? N1250.
Yes.
Assalamualaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam. How are you?
Alhamdulillah, I'm fine. How are you?
Alhamdulillah, I'm very well. Jazakumullah for asking. So we're going to be reading this verse over here from the Holy Quran. So can you repeat after me, please? A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajeem.
A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajeem.
Bismillahir rahmanir rahim.
Bismillahir rahmanir rahim.
Rabbi zidni
Rabbi zidni
ilma.
ilma.
Rabbi zidni ilma.
Rabbi zidni ilma.
Perfect. Excellent. Well done. And can you read this translation for me at the bottom?
Oh my Lord, increase me in knowledge.
Excellent. And that's from Surah Taha in the Holy Quran, and verse 115 is where you'll find this reference. Okay, Jazakumullah for your help. Now in today's class, what we're going to be learning is on about normal elongation. So that's lesson number 15 in your books. So that's normal elongation, which in Arabic is known as madda. Okay, now madda means to lengthen or to prolong, or to make something longer, stretch it out. Okay, now in Arabic, the three letters of haruful madda, now here haruful means letters and madda means prolongation or making something longer. So the three letters of prolongation are called alif, vaw and ya. Now over here, this is a typing mistake, so it says ha but it's actually ya. So can you please all change that on your books or any copies you have, or maybe note it down in your diaries, that the three letters of prolongation are called alif, vaw and ya. Okay. Now haruf al-madda should be prolonged for about 2 seconds. So in other words, double the stroke of fatha. So in previous classes, you've learnt about the stroke of fatha, kasra and dhamma, and you've learnt that each of those strokes should be pronounced for 1 second. So the letter carrying those strokes, fatha, kasra or dhamma, should be pronounced for 1 second each. Now in today's class, we're learning that haruf al-madda should be prolonged for 2 seconds. So that is the key thing that you should be remembering right now, and we'll apply it later when we go through the examples. Now in today's class, what our aim will be is to correctly recognize and to correctly pronounce those haruf al-madda. Now, first thing, like I said, how do you recognize a madda letter? Now, alif madda, like I said, there's three types of madda letters. There's alif madda, vaw madda, and ya madda. Okay, so firstly, alif madda is always preceded with a consonant carrying the stroke of fatha. So what basically this means is that an alif madda will always have a letter before it that carries or has a stroke of fatha on top of it. Now, an example of this can be seen in this third column over here. So the alif madda I've highlighted in yellow over here, if you follow my hand. This is an alif madda. And how do we know that this is an alif madda? If you look at the letter before it, which is a ha, this has the stroke of fatha on top of it. So alif madda is recognized by the letter before it that it has a fatha on top of it. So normally, if I were to just read the ha on its own, so ha with a fatha on its own, I would pronounce it for 1 second. So I would say ha. But as soon as you have an alif madda following that, then that sound of 1 second is now stretched to 2 seconds. So I would now pronounce this whole bit as ha, ha. Okay, 2 second sound to be made over here. Okay. Now let's move on to vowel madda now. How do you recognize vowel madda? A vowel madda is always preceded with a consonant carrying the stroke of dhamma. What this means is that vowel madda always has a letter before it that carries a dhamma. Okay, now this can be seen in this first column over here. I've highlighted the vowel madda, as you can see. Now this is a vowel and it has a sukoon on top of it. Okay, we all know that this is a sukoon and this is a vowel sakin. Okay, now this, the letter before this vowel sakin is an alif, and that has the stroke of dhamma, and that indicates that this is a vowel madda. And whenever we see a vowel madda, we stretch that sound for 2 seconds. So instead of just saying alif with a simple dhamma, oo, now we have to stretch that sound out for 2 seconds because of the vowel madda. So I would say oo, oo. Okay, so that sound stretches out for 2 seconds because of the vowel madda. Now lastly, ya madda is always preceded with a consonant carrying the stroke of kasra, as demonstrated in the examples. So over here you can see in the second column that I've highlighted the ya madda. Now over here, similar to vowel madda, ya madda also has a sukoon on top of it. Okay, so vowel madda and ya madda both have a sukoon on them, and ya madda always has a letter before it that carries a kasra. Now the letter before the ya is a dhal, and the dhal carries a kasra, like I just told you over here. So this indicates that this over here is a ya madda, so we need to stretch our sound out for 2 seconds. So instead of saying simply dhal with a kasra, the, I would stretch my sound out now for 2 seconds because of the ya madda. I would now say the. Okay, so those were examples of the madda letters and how our sound changes. And so if I were to go through all of this, so all these 3 examples are really good examples to recognize the madda letters, because all the madda letters are included in these examples. So for example, over here, like I said, this would be pronounced as oo. Now over here, this would be pronounced as the, because of the ya madda. So that sound of the is now prolonged for 2 seconds. The. Then over here, this whole bit would be pronounced as na, because of the alif madda, because it's preceded with a letter noon with a fatha. So altogether this would be utina, utina. Okay, similar to this whole thing would be udina, udina. So each section of this word is pronounced for 2 seconds each, because we have a vowel madda, a ya madda, and an alif madda, all in the same example. Okay, now same thing over here. Nuhiha. Okay, 2 seconds each, 2 seconds and 2 seconds. Okay, vowel madda, ya madda, and alif madda. Okay, now if you move on to exercise 15.1, again we can see more examples of alif, vowel, and ya madda. Now this first column is about alif madda. So if I just go show you how this would be pronounced, over here you have a ra with a fatha, and that is followed by an alif madda. Okay, so I would pronounce this for 2 seconds. I would now say Ra. Okay. Now similar to that over here, you have, this is an example of a vowel madda. So over here you have an alif with a dhamma, and that is followed by a vowel madda, a vowel with a sukoon on top of it. So I would stretch that sound out for 2 seconds now. Ooh, ooh. Okay. Similarly, this again, ta with a dhamma, tu, but as soon as it's followed by a vowel madda, that sound is stretched for 2 seconds. Tu. Okay. Now again, this is ya madda examples. So you have a meme with a kasra underneath it. So me, but then that is followed by a ya madda, ya with a sukoon. So that sound of me is now stretched for 2 seconds. Me. Over here you have a scene with a kasra followed by a ya madda. See. Okay, so it might seem a bit difficult at the moment, but inshallah we will practice, and that will really help you to get better and better. Okay, so can we please have a student on the line, and we'll get into practicing.
Beautiful A1152.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam. How are you? Are you
ठीक है,
okay?
alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah. Okay, so what are we learning today? What are we learning
Madda,
about? Yes, we are learning about madda, exactly. And what's 3 types of madda?
alif,
Yeah,
ya,
yeah.
and waw.
Excellent. Alif madda, vaw madda, and ya madda. Okay, so whenever I ask you, anybody on the line, if I ask you what type of madda is this, I want you to reply to me in one of those answers: alif madda, vaw madda, or ya madda. Okay, so over here, like I just read out some examples, and I'm going to ask you to just follow my hand and just read the examples that I point to. Okay, so let's start with this one.
Ra,
Excellent. And this one.
oo,
Well done. And this one now. How would you read this? So what letter is this?
me,
Excellent. Okay, so
me,
this is a meme with a kasra. And what's this? What type of madda is this?
ya, ya madda,
Excellent. So how long do we pronounce letters of madda?
5
2
seconds.
Not 5 seconds, 2 seconds. Okay, so haruful madda, or the letters of elongation, prolongation, are set for 2 seconds. Okay, so wherever you see a madda letter, alif, wa, or ya, then you have to stretch the sound. So for example, normally this would be meme with a kasra, me, but as soon as it has a ya madda in front of it, then that sound of me is stretched for 2 seconds. So I would say me. Okay, does that make sense? Anyone want
Yes.
this? Okay, excellent. Well done. That was really good. Just keep practicing, and we'll practice through the class as well, and inshallah that will help you. Okay, well done. Can we have another student, please?
Nasra N1249.
Jazakumullah. Assalamu alaikum. N1249. N1249. Assalamu alaikum. Okay, maybe have another student.
Okay, I will have now Nasra N1236.
Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam. Is this N1236?
Yeah.
Okay, excellent. Okay, so you've been listening to the class so far, yes?
Yeah.
Okay. So now again, I'm going to point to some examples, and I want you to tell everyone how you should pronounce this. Okay. So let's see this. How would you pronounce this?
La,
Excellent. Well done. 2 seconds because of the alif madda. Excellent. Now let's try this.
tu,
Perfect. And what type of madda is practiced in this example?
Wow,
Yes, excellent. Wow madda. Yes, excellent. This is a wow with a sukoon, and the letter before it has a dhamma. So this is wow madda. Excellent. Now let's do this one.
see,
Excellent. That was really, really good. Mashallah. Well done. You pronounced that really well, and you did that 2-second sound beautifully. Okay. And it was the same for each of the examples that you did. Okay. That was really good. Mashallah. Well done. Keep practicing. Can we have another student, please?
A10.
A10.
A1170.
Okay. Assalamu alaikum. A1170.
Walaikum salam.
Okay. Now let's do a bit of now the next bit over here at the bottom. This starts to look at forming words. Okay. So what you have to do is you have to recognize the letter, the madda letter, and then also apply the other rules that you already learned previously as well. Otherwise, I'll help you out as well. So let's practice this one first. So how would you pronounce this first bit?
Sa.
Okay, over here, this is a simple sod. Yeah, this is the letter sod with a kasra underneath. It's simple, okay? So how would you say we?
Si.
Okay, don't stretch the sound out for more than 1 second because there's a simple kasra. So you should just say it for 1 second, okay? A1170, I don't know if you've got something against the mic, but your voice is a bit disrupted. But try and stay still and read this, okay? So now, sod with a kasra, si.
Si.
Perfect, okay? Now let's do the next bit. Now this is practicing the alif madda, okay? So how would you say this?
Ra.
Yes, so this is the ra, and it's followed by an alif madda. So stretch your sound out for 2 seconds.
Ra.
Excellent. Okay, ra. And this last bit over here, how would you pronounce this?
Ta.
Okay, you've got the right letter, but you just need to pronounce it for the amount of time that you should pronounce it for. So this is a simple ta with a fatha. So ta,
Tua.
not twa, ta. Yes, your sound should go straight up and it shouldn't swirl in the middle, okay? So just simple ta.
Ta.
Perfect, excellent, okay? So the first letter and the last letter simply have a kasra and a fatha on top of them, so you should say them for 1 second each. But in the middle over here, we're practicing the alif madda because you have an alif and the letter before it, you have ra. So you have ra with a fatha, which makes this an alif madda. So altogether, this would be sirata.
Sirato.
Perfect. Excellent. Okay. Now let's move on to the next one. Now over here, can you pronounce this first bit for me? Okay. Can you see this alif and what does it have on top of it? What can you see on top of this? What's the symbol over here? What's the stroke? Is it fatha, kasra, or dhamma?
Kasra.
Okay, this is a dhamma. Okay, so this swirly thing over here and with the flick at the bottom, this is a dhamma. And yeah, so this is a dhamma. Now, following the alif with the dhamma, you have a vaw with a sukoon. So this is a vaw madda. Okay, so it stretches that sound of oo for 2 seconds. So you'd say oo.
Ooh.
Okay, so that's how you pronounce this bit. Okay, now let's move on to the next bit. What's this letter over here? Where my hand is?
Ta.
Yes, this is a ta. And again, what does it have on top of it?
Dhamma.
Dhamma. Excellent. So alone, on its own, how would you pronounce that?
Tu.
Yes, 1 second. Tu.
2.
But now as soon as it has a vowel madda in front of it, so a vowel with a sakin, you have to stretch that sound out for 2 seconds now, okay? So instead of saying tu, you're saying tu.
2.
Perfect. Now all together this would be tu.
2.
Perfect. Well done. Okay. Do you understand now what's a vowel madda? Yeah. So the letter before a vowel madda always has a dhamma on top of it. So this swirly thing over here, dhamma. Okay. Now let's move on to this bit. Over here, what letter is this?
Ma.
Meme. Yeah, this is a meme. And what does it have underneath it? What's this stroke called? Fatha, kasra, or dhamma?
Kasra.
Excellent. It's the kasra, okay? So on its own, meme with a kasra, how would you pronounce that?
Me.
Okay, now say that only for 1 second.
Me.
Yes, me. Okay, that's how you would pronounce it. But now, in the blue over here, you can see that this me is now followed by a ya with a sukoon. And we just learnt that that means that this is a ya madda. Okay, so what does ya madda do? It stretches the sound out for 2 seconds. So instead of saying me, now you're saying that sound for 2 seconds. So you're saying me.
Me.
Perfect. Okay, now let's move on to the next one. What letter is this in the black? What letter is this?
Kaf.
Yes, this is Qaf. And what does it have on top of it? What's this stroke called? Fatha, kasra, or dhamma?
Fatha.
Yes, fatha. So this would be simply on its own. If we were to ignore what's ahead of it, it would be qa. Okay, just 1 second. Qa. Now, as soon as it has something joined onto it, you need to have a look at what is it. So ahead of it, you have an alif, and so that means that this is an alif madda, because alif with the letter before it that carries a fatha is an alif madda. So that stretches the sound out for 2 seconds. So that's now we would say this whole bit as ah. Perfect. And how would you say this last bit? I want you to do this on your own.
Two.
Okay, but again, this is a simple dhamma, and dhamma should be pronounced for 1 second. So say this again, but with 1 second.
2.
Excellent. Okay. Now all together, follow after me. This would be said as miqatu,
Miyatu.
miqatu.
Mikatu.
Excellent. Well done. That was good. But have you been listening to all the previous classes? Have you been attending?
Last week I was at a ski trip.
Okay. But have you been practicing? So all of last week you missed the classes?
Yeah.
Okay. So maybe that's why there is a gap in your understanding of a lot of things. So maybe have you gone back and listened to the recordings?
Not yet.
Not yet. Okay. So first thing I want you to do is go back and listen to the recordings, okay? Because otherwise it's very difficult for you to move on and learn what we're teaching now, okay? So tonight, tomorrow, whenever you can, go back to the recordings that are accessible on the Nqc website, and just go back to that and listen to all the recordings, okay? That will really help you, because I can see that you're finding it difficult to read a lot of the words, okay? So will you do that for me?
Yeah.
Okay, inshallah, we'll check up that you've done that, and then because we'll be able to see if your understanding has gone better of all the words. Okay, but well done for now. But like I said, go back and listen to the recordings and keep practicing. Okay, so can we have another student, please? Well done, Jazakumullah.
1243.
N1243. Assalamu alaikum. Assalamu alaikum. N1243.
Okay, they seem to be preoccupied.
Assalamualaikum.
Walaikum salam. What's your ID?
N1243.
Okay, excellent. Okay, so we're learning about madda today. So I'm going to again point at some examples, and I want you to tell me how you pronounce it. Okay. So can you tell me how you would pronounce this bit?
La.
Okay. Stretch that out for 2 seconds because of the alif madda. La.
La.
Well done. Okay. So do you recognize that this is an alif madda over here in front of the lam?
Yes.
Yes, because it's an alif and the letter before it, lam, has a fatha. So this is an alif madda. So you have to prolong your sound for 2 seconds. Okay, let's move on. This is an example of vaw madda. So can you give it a go? Try saying this.
Tu.
Perfect. And this one?
Wow.
Try saying. Yeah, and this bit.
Boo.
Perfect. Okay, so both of these have an example of vaw madda because this is a vowel with a sukoon and the letter before it has a dhamma. So that's how you know that this is a vaw madda. So 2 seconds and then boo 2 seconds.
Okay.
And the alif over here, this is a blank alif, so you ignore that because it doesn't make any sound. Okay, so boo boo.
Okay.
Can you say that for me now? Boo boo.
Tu. Boo.
Excellent, well done. Now let's move on to this example over here. So let's try saying this first bit. So this join this black bit with this blue bit. Okay, so how would you say that?
Sini.
And this last bit?
Na.
Okay, over here you did these two excellently because you both prolonged these both for 2 seconds. So but this bit has a simple fatha. So na.
Na.
Yes, you won't stretch this sound out for too long because it's a simple fatha 1 second rule. Okay, so you did that really well. Let me just explain that to everybody else so that they know how you read as well. Over here, this is a scene with a kasra and it is followed by a ya madda. So she stretched that out for 2 seconds. So she said see. Excellent. Okay, now this was a noon with a kasra again followed by a ya madda. So 2 seconds. Ni, and then over here you have a noon with a fatha na. Sinina. Can you pronounce that please for me? Sinina.
Sinina.
Well done. Excellent. That was really good, mashallah. And keep practicing this rule, okay? Because it can be a bit difficult to get your grip on the sounds of the mother. But you did really well, okay? Mashallah. Can we have another student, please?
Yes, it'll be N1241. Let me just try her again. N1241 should have the mic.
Assalamualaikum.
Assalamualaikum.
Walaikum salam. Is this N1241?
Yes.
Okay, excellent. Okay, so let's do exercise 15.2. Okay, now this exercise, what happens is this is looking at similar sounding letters. Okay, even though they may look different, they sound different. Okay, sorry, even though they look different, they sound similar or they sound the same. Okay, now over here, can you try and explain, pronounce how you would pronounce this?
Ta.
Okay, stretch that sound out for 2 seconds, okay?
Ta.
Excellent. And can you tell me why you stretched that sound out for 2 seconds?
Is it because there's an alif next to it?
Yes, there is an alif, and that alif is called alif madda. Okay, now like you said, the ta has a fatha, and joined onto it is an alif, and this is called an alif madda because it means that you have to prolong or stretch the sound of ta out for 2 seconds. So like you did really, really well, this would be said for 2 seconds. Ta.
Ta.
Perfect. Excellent. Well done. Now, can you try and pronounce this for me?
Ta.
Excellent. So how long did you stretch that out for? How many seconds?
For 2 seconds.
Excellent. And why did you do that?
Because there's a vertical foot at the top.
Excellent. Well done. So proud of you that you remember that. This is a vertical fatha. And like we've learned before, a vertical fatha should be pronounced for how many seconds? 2 seconds, yes?
2 seconds.
Excellent. Well done. So even though both of these look quite different, they're actually pronounced in the same way. So this is pronounced for 2 seconds, and this is also pronounced for 2 seconds. Okay? So the only difference is that this is practicing the rule of alif madda, and this is practicing the rule of vertical fatha. Okay? And finally, can you please tell me how you would pronounce this?
Ta.
Excellent. And how many seconds did you say that for?
For 1 minute.
1 minute or 1 second?
1 second.
Excellent. 1 minute is a long time to hold your breath. So we're glad this is only for 1 second, okay? So this is for 1 second because it has a simple fatha on top of it. Excellent. You did that really, really well. And I'm really proud that you got this bit right and also this one right. Okay? So excellent. Keep practicing. That was really, really good though. Jazakumullah for your help. Can we have another student, please?
Okay. Khudafis. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam. What's your ID?
N1247.
Okay, excellent. Okay, so N1247, we're going to be practicing this next bit with you. So the next 3 columns. So over here, can you try and pronounce this for me?
Ba.
Excellent. Well done. And how many seconds did you pronounce that for?
2.
2 seconds. And the reason behind it is?
Alif madda.
Excellent. Well done. And how can you recognize an alif madda? It's a difficult question, but can you tell me, how do you know that this is an alif madda?
It has a foot on it.
Yeah, you're close. The alif.
It has a dhamma on it.
Yeah, the letter before it, which is the ba, has a fatha on top of it. That's how you know that this is an alif madda. Okay? Excellent. Well done. Now let's try this bit. How would you pronounce this?
Ba.
Excellent. So again, you pronounce it for 2 seconds. And why? Because of the... Why did you pronounce that for 2 seconds? What's this at the top? Do you remember? It's the same as this over here. So the last student pronounced this and said that this is something, a specific stroke. So it's the same stroke. What's this called? A vertical?
Vertical fatha.
Excellent. Well done. Okay, so this is a vertical fatha, and a letter with a vertical fatha on top of it is pronounced for 2 seconds, just like a letter with an alif madda in front of it. Okay, so this ba has a vertical, a alif madda in front of it, so this sound would be stretched for 2 seconds. Okay, and how would you pronounce this?
Ba.
Perfect. Excellent. 1 second sound because of the simple fatha. Well done. That was really, really good, mashallah. Keep practicing. Can we have another student, please?
N1258.
Assalamu alaikum. N1258.
Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam. Okay, we're going to do the next 3 columns with you. So let's do this bit first. Okay, so can you try and give the go of how you should pronounce this?
D.
Okay, but this only the first bit of this is T, but what does it have over here? What's this called? The second bit.
Sha.
Yes, this is a ya, but what kind of ya is it? It's a ya madda. Yes?
Yes.
Yes, N1258. So we're learning today about alif madda, waw madda, and ya madda. And after the T, we have a ya madda. Because this is a ya with a sukoon, and the letter before it, which is a ta, has a kasra. Okay, that's how we know that this is a example of a ya madda. So ya madda should be pronounced for 2 seconds. So can you please try and say that correctly now?
D.
Perfect, excellent. Okay, so firstly you said that this is a T, but that was incorrect because only the first bit of this column would be T, but then you have a ya madda ahead of the T, so you stretch that sound out for 2 seconds. The Okay, now let's move on to the next one. How would you pronounce this?
D.
Perfect, excellent, well done. Okay, now let's do this one.
B.
Perfect, excellent, well done. That was really, really good. So this is a ba with the letter ba with a kasra b, and then you have a ya madda ahead of it. So that's why that sound of 1 second is now stretched to 2 seconds. So b. Okay, excellent. That was really, really good. Well done. Jazakumullah for your help. Can we have another student, please?
1264 is being attempted. Okay, and 1264, we're not able to unmute you. We're trying. If you can fix it at your end, please. And I'm going to try N1249.
Assalamu alaikum. N1249.
I think she's just lost. Hang on, 1 second.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam. Is this N1249?
Yes.
Okay, excellent. Okay, so I'm going to ask you to do these 3 columns for me. So can we start from here? How would you pronounce this?
For 1 second.
Yes, exactly. You would say perfect. You say for 1 second. So say that correctly now.
B.
B. Excellent. Well done. 1 second. Now let's try this one now.
E.
Okay, how many seconds would you say this for?
2 seconds.
3 seconds. So say that for 2 seconds now, okay? E.
E.
Perfect, excellent. Okay, so before when you said it, that was correct as well, but I would have liked to for your sound to be a bit longer to make that correct distinction or make that difference between a 2 second and a 1 second sound. Okay, so this is a 2 second sound because of the ya madda. You have a ya madda over here because the letter before it, alif, has a kasra underneath it. So e.
E.
Perfect, excellent. Now let's try this one now.
This is the same. E.
Okay, excellent. Yes, this is the same. But what I want you to do is say it nice and softly and take your time. So 2 seconds. Say that for 2 seconds. Count on your fingers as well, okay? Say it now.
E.
Much, much better. Okay, that was excellent. You explained that really well as well. These 2 would be the same because they would make the same sound even though they look very different. So this column over here looks at ya madda, and this column over here looks at, can you tell me what stroke this alif is carrying? What is it?
Vertical. Fatha.
Okay, vertical fatha would be on the top, just like over here. Yeah, this is a vertical fatha. Now this is underneath the letter. So what is this?
Vertical kasra.
Perfect, excellent. Okay, so this is a vertical kasra because it is underneath the letter and it's standing upright. Okay, so this is a vertical kasra, so 2 seconds, and this over here is ya madda, so again 2 seconds. Excellent, well done, really, really good, mashallah. That was excellently read. Can we have another student, please?
Jazakallah.
Jazakumullah.
Okay, it'll be N1261.
Assalamu alaikum. N1261.
अगर हम लेट कर देते तो हमारी पारी नहीं आ रही थी।
Assalamu alaikum. Can you hear me properly? N1261.
Yes.
Okay, excellent. Just come a bit closer to the mic so I can hear you properly. Okay, let's do the next three with you. Okay, so 1, 2, 3. You're gonna do these 3 columns. Okay, so can you try and say how? Give it a go. How would you pronounce this?
2.
Perfect, excellent. And how long did you say that for?
2 seconds.
2 seconds, excellent. And can you tell me the reason why? What's this over here? What's the thing in red? What's it called? This is a vowel madda. Yes? Yes, N1261. This is a vowel madda because the letter before it has a dhamma on top of it. So like you did really beautifully, this sound is now stretched for 2 seconds. So, tu. Okay? Perfect, excellent. Now let's move on to the next bit. Now, can you tell me how you would pronounce this?
2.
Okay, give it a go again, and making sure you know what this is. What's this thing on top of the ta? What's this? Can you remember from previous classes what stroke this is? This is a inverted dhamma. Okay, this is an inverted dhamma, and an inverted dhamma basically means an upside down dhamma, and an inverted dhamma should be said for 2 seconds. Okay, so can you try that again, but say that for 2 seconds now?
2.
Perfect. So this would make the same sound as this over here. So this was said for 2 seconds, and this would also be said for 2 seconds because of the inverted dhamma that you've learned in previous classes. Okay, now let's try this one.
Ooh.
Perfect, beautifully read, well done. Again, the vowel madda over here is the reason why you stretch that sound out for 2 seconds. A vowel with a sukoon, and the letter before it has a dhamma, so this is a vowel madda. So boo. Perfect, excellent. That was really, really well read. MashaAllah, Jazakumullah for your help. Can we have another student, please? Jazakumullah.
It has a 1175. That's the mic.
It has spoon on it.
Assalamu alaikum. Is this
A1175.
okay? Assalamu alaikum. A1175.
Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam. Is this A1175?
Yes.
Okay, excellent. Okay, so we're just going to do the last bit over here. So can you try and pronounce this for me?
Boo.
Perfect, excellent. Again, 2 second sound because of the what's on top of the bar.
Reverse dhamma.
Yes, inverse or inverted dhamma. Yes, well done. So this is inverted dhamma on top of the bar. So that's why you stretched out your sound out for 2 seconds. Boo. Perfect. Okay. Now let's move on to the next one. What's this? How would you pronounce this?
Ooh.
Okay, well done. Excellent. Just make sure you're only saying it for 2 seconds, not longer than that. Because vowel madda or any other mother letter only requires 2 seconds. Okay. So over here, this is a vowel madda, yes? Because the letter before it has a dhamma. So can you say this one more time, just for 2 seconds?
Ooh.
Well done. Okay, much better. Now let's try this one.
Ooh.
Well done. Excellent. Now this alif again, what does it have on top of it?
Inverted dhamma.
Yes, excellent. So it would make the same sound as this bit over here, okay? So this same sound as this, even though they look very different, because this is practicing the rule of vaw madda and this is practicing the rule of inverted dhamma. Okay, but excellent, very well read. Keep practicing, but jazakumullah for your help. Now we're going to move on to exercise 15.3. Now we're going to move on to exercise 15.3, which looks a bit scary, but inshallah when we start reading it, you will be doing this tomorrow as well with your teacher, so don't worry. We'll take it one bit at a time, covering each of the three madda letters, alif, waw and ya madda, and looking at the examples there. And also this exercise is also combining previous rules that you've learned. So it's also combining rules of simple fatha, kasra, dhamma, and also of tanween, which we need to remember to pronounce for 2 seconds. So tanween is something that looks like this. So fathaten, kasraten, and dhammaten. So over here, this qaf has a kasraten underneath it. So when I pronounce this, I need to stretch that nasal sound out for 2 seconds. So I would say this as qin. Okay, so I wouldn't say qin. I need to stretch that nasal sound out for 2 seconds. Qin. Okay, so that's one of the rules that you'll be looking at in this exercise, and you need to remember whilst you're reading through the exercise. Okay, so let's get straight into it, and can we have a student on the mic, please?
Okay, Tifl A1168, I'm trying to unmute you, but you're not able to be unmuted. Oh, okay, I think I've just succeeded.
Assalamu alaikum. Is this A1168? Assalamu alaikum, A1168.
Assalamualaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam. Okay, so I think our in-charge discipline was having a bit of trouble trying to unmute you. I don't know the reason for that, but make sure your settings are all okay, so that we're able to unmute you quickly in the future. But okay, so let's get on to exercise 15.3, and like I said, we're going to be practicing the rule of alif, waw and ya madda, and along with other rules that you've seen previously as well. Okay, so let's start with this over here. Now I'm going to point my hands to different sections, and I just want you to pronounce them for me, and then we'll say all together at once. Okay, so what's this first bit?
Kha.
Okay. Yes, kha. Okay, because this has, what does this letter have on top of it?
Fatha.
Fatha. And how long should a fatha be pronounced for?
1.
1 second, yes? Yeah, so 1 second. So don't stretch this sound out for 2 seconds, because it only should be said for 1 second. Kha. Okay, now let's move on to the next bit. So I want you to read this bit in red. How would you say this?
La.
Well done, excellent. So how long did you say that for?
2 seconds.
2 seconds, excellent. Now, can you tell me why? Why you stretched that for 2 seconds?
So there's an alif next to it.
Yes, there is an alif, and this alif is called alif madda. Okay, like we've been learning today. This is an alif madda because the lam, the letter before it, has a fatha on top of it. So this is alif madda, an example of alif madda. Okay, and let's do this bit now in black.
Qin.
Excellent, beautifully read. So like I said before, this has tanween, this has kasraten underneath it. So stretch that nasal sound out for 2 seconds. Now can you say this all together for me now?
Qalakin.
Okay, now this first letter is kha. Okay, so try to say that properly, but the rest was really good. Khalaqin.
Lakin.
Khalaqin.
Lakin.
Well done. Okay, so take a nice deep breath before you say it, because you can run out of breath, but just try to take a deep breath before you say it. But that was really good, mashallah, well done. Now next bit, let's do this. So this bit in black, can you pronounce?
La.
Excellent, la. Okay, this is the letter lam with a fatha. So 1 second, la. Okay, now can you try saying the next bit for me? So join this dal, this red bit to the wow bit. So how would you join that?
Lu.
Perfect. And what's this over here in blue?
Oh. Wow, mother.
Waw madda. Excellent. Because this is a vowel and the letter before it has a dhamma. So this makes it a waw madda. Okay? So all together now, can you say this?
Zazu.
Excellent. Mashallah. Beautifully read. Well done. Ladhu.
Zazu.
Perfect. Excellent. Now let's move on to the next example now. Can you try this first bit for me?
Sha.
Excellent. Shah. Simple 1 second. Excellent. And this next bit now.
T.
Perfect. Excellent. Now over here you can see that the bit in blue is ya madda because the letter before it, dal, has a kasra. So you stretch the D sound out for 2 seconds, okay? D.
T.
Perfect. And this last bit now.
Mm.
Sorry, one more time.
Mm.
Okay, I think your voice cut out a little bit, but dun.
Dun.
Yes, okay. So this on top of it is dhammaten. So tanween again. So dun.
Mm.
And all together now.
Shatan.
Okay. First bit, last bit, great. In the middle, try saying that again. Yes, so say that all together now.
Eaten.
Shadidun.
Shatidun.
Perfect, mashallah. Really good attempt. You did that really, really well. Just keep practicing the madda letters, okay? But other than that, you're doing really, really well, mashallah. Jazakumullah for your help. Can we have one more student, please? A1167, I believe it is. Assalamu alaikum, A1167.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam. Is your ID A1167?
Yeah.
Okay, excellent. Now we're going to do the next 3 examples with you. So let's start from here.
Khan.
Okay. Okay, so let's take it one at a time so that everybody else can understand as well. So you did that excellently. So you joined the red bit to the black, to the blue bit. So kha.
Kha.
Yes, because of the alif madda, you stretch the sound out of kha for 2 seconds. Okay, and this bit, first bit, this how do you pronounce this? Li. Excellent. And this bit?
Dun.
Perfect. Remember to do your 2 second nasal sound at the end. Dun.
Dun.
And all together now.
Khali dun.
Perfect. Excellent. Mashallah. Really, really good. Let's move on to the next one now.
You.
Okay. Now over here, how you would pronounce this is that you would join the U, so this ya with the dhamma U, to the hamza. Okay? So it would be yu.
You.
Yeah? So a slight jerk sound. You wouldn't pronounce the vowel, but you would look at the hamza on top. Okay? Because the hamza sound would be produced. So in this case, a good analogy to use, or a good way to remember it, is if you remember that if I'm sitting on a chair, I would speak and not the chair. Okay, so if I have something to say, I would speak and not the chair. Just like that over here, the vowel acts like a chair to the hamza, and so therefore the sound of hamza is produced and not the vowel. Okay, because the chair can't speak. Okay, so vowel is the chair in this case, and it doesn't produce a sound, and straight away the hamza produces a sound. So you join the u to the ya with the dhamma u to the hamza to produce a slight jerk sound. You.
You.
Perfect. Okay. Now let's do this bit now.
Me.
Perfect. Me. Because of a kasra, 1 second. Now this bit now.
No.
Yes. No. Yeah, because of the vaw madda, you have to stretch the sound out of nu to 2 seconds. No. Okay. And Well done. And this bit over here, how would you pronounce this?
Na.
Perfect. Don't produce a jerk sound, just a simple na.
Na.
Okay, nice and smooth, okay? So can you say this all together now for me?
Yu'minuna.
Perfect. Yu'minuna.
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 Perfect. Well done. Excellent. Now let's quickly do this final example. Now over here, how do you...
Hamidun.
Okay, excellent. I can see that you're trying to do it all at once, but like I said, let's do it one bit at a time to help everybody as well, okay? So this first bit is ha.
Ha.
Yes. And this bit, how would you pronounce this?
Mi.
Excellent. Because of the ya madda, the sound of ni is now stretched to 2 seconds. Ni. Okay.
Mi.
And this last bit, you did really well. This is dhammaten. So 2 second nasal sound at the end. Dun.
Dun.
Perfect. And all together now.
Hamidun.
Okay. Make sure you don't stretch the ha sound out for too long because it's a simple fatha. 1 second. Hamidun.
Hamidun.
Excellent. Well done. A1167. You read that really, really well, mashallah. Jazakumullah for your help. Now, Jazakumullah. Now we're ending our class now, and I will end with your homework. Mashallah, everybody did really, really well. I can understand that this is a more of a difficult rule to get your grips on, but inshallah we will do this tomorrow as well. And to help you, we have set out a homework for you that will, if you practice, it will really help you improve as well. Okay, so your homework is to practice the normal elongation. First, practice exercise 15.1, paying close attention to your timings of 2 seconds. Okay, so as we learned today that your letters of elongation, your madda letters should be pronounced for 2 seconds. Okay, now next bit is to practice exercise 15.2, paying again close attention to timing, and also pay close attention to the 2 seconds that you have to produce for vertical or inverted strokes. So vertical kasra, vertical dhamma, or vertical fatha, vertical kasra, or inverted dhamma. Okay. Now also practice exercise 15.3, which we didn't finish today. Inshallah, you'll be carrying on with it tomorrow. But I want you to at home look at the first 2 lines and practice them. Okay. So first 2 lines, I mean this first line and this second line. Okay, so we completed the first line today, and tonight I'd like you to sit with someone and go through the second line as well and practice both these lines. Okay, so that's your rule, your homework. And a good way to work on your timing is to use a mobile phone or a recording app or anything like that to record and to listen back to how you're reading and time yourself. Am I reading this stroke for 1 second? Am I reading the stroke for 2 seconds? How it should be. Okay, so that's your homework for today. So I hope you've all written that down or taken a picture. You can always access this page again via the recording that will be available on the website. Okay, so we're going to end the class now with our prayer. So can you please have a student?
Triple A 1152.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam. Okay, so I'm just going to ask you to read this dua for me. So repeat after me. A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim.
A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim.
Allahumma arhamni.
Allahumma arhamni.
Bil Qur'anil Azim. Yeah, can you say that again? Bil Qur'anil Azim. Okay, I think we've lost maybe contact, but I'll quickly read the translation. It's, "O Allah, have mercy on me through the great Quran." Okay, so that's the translation for this. So Jazakumullah to everyone for joining us in today's class. Inshallah, make sure you do your homework. It's really, really important in order for you to improve your recitation. So Jazakumullah, inshallah, see you all again tomorrow, same time. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.